Hello and welcome to another episode of the Expert to Authority show. My name is Simone Vincenzi and I'm your host. This is a show for coaches, speakers, and trainers who want to grow their businesses while making an impact in the world. And we are doing a series at the moment while we are interviewing the awards winners of 2023 last year within GTeX. Every year we award our clients based on some successes that they had, maybe difficult times that they had to go through, depending on their level of business and so on. And actually, we have today a repeat winner because last year she was the winner of the Newcomer Award of the Year. This year, she's the winner of the Grit Award of the year 2023, which is given to someone that has faced a lot of significant challenges but still managed to keep things going with their business. Because as we know, as entrepreneurs, as much as we have our goals and dreams and what we want to achieve in our business, when life gets in the way, in particular personal challenges, then all the plan is thrown off. Then all the plan needs to change. And so having the grit to keep going is then what we are awarding here. So, Angela Roth, congratulations for being one of the winners of the Grit Award 2023.
Thank you very much, Simone. Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
my pleasure to have you here. So, before we start, we're going to talk a lot about grit. Now, some of the personal things that happened to you, how you went through, what pieces of advice you have also for others that are going through a tough time but still managing their business. Just a quick introduction about you, your business, what you do, and let's start from there.
So, what I do is run a business community for coaches where mostly coaches, heart led coaches, I would say, who have their passion at their forefront, but they have no idea how to make money from it often. And to help them to get clear on their message and their clients, and then also support them with the tech. Because as I discovered, if you don't like tech, it holds you back completely. So, and a lot of them are afraid of it. So, getting them used to doing that bit of hand holding, showing them different technology they can use, till they actually get excited with it. That's fun watching their faces, saying, "I didn't know I could do that." And so that's what I love because it gives them the confidence then to go out and actually change the world around them.
And it's been beautiful observing you creating your offer, growing your business in that field. Because I know like your background was quite different, and then you transitioned completely. So if you can give also people like a brief overview about what made you change, because some people they might be still stuck serving a niche that maybe either they're not happy with or doesn't bring in much income, and you've made that transition. So what was your thought process about that, and what forced you or moved you to make that transition?
Well, the thing was, before COVID, I was a weight loss coach, but it was all face to face. And I loved it. I loved being in front of people and helping and supporting them. And when COVID happened, I just assumed really that that would be the natural thing to do online. But as anyone else in that business probably would agree with me, during COVID, people didn't want to lose weight. They didn't care. They were wearing jogging bottoms beneath the screen and they were just comfort eating and so on. And it became really difficult because I was very involved in the mindset behind weight loss and I just wasn't making any money. Spent quite a lot on trying to set the business up, but was becoming quite demoralized at the lack of attraction of clients. But what did happen was that all the things I was learning, other people were asking me for help. How do you do that? How do you create this? What do you do on social media? And all of those things. And I loved it. And I became quite passionate about it. So there I was trying to make money out of a business that wasn't working, whilst I was giving away for free the other, spending all my time helping these people. And then at the end of 2022, I just thought, no, 2021 rather, I thought, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely crazy. Why don't I just do what I love, where I know that I'm making a difference and I'm impacting more people because then the people I'm helping are going out and making a difference. So I would say if you're all of us start somewhere and we haven't got very many clients, you've got to build that business. So ask yourself, are you absolutely passionate, committed, and love what you're doing? Because if you do, it will give you the energy. It's like the petrol in your tank, it keeps you going, and you will get there in the end. You just have to get the right sort of methods in process. But if you're going to bed like I was, feeling like you're walking through treacle every day, then really examine your heart and ask yourself, are you doing the right thing? Are you with the right people? Because your business should inspire you. It should drive you. It should fuel you. It should give you joy. And if it doesn't, something's wrong. So don't stay there, basically. Don't wait. Go ask for help.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And I think it's such an important message for people that they might be stuck doing something they don't love, even if it's their business and it's their choice to decide what business to do. But sometimes just the routine kicks in, or maybe something that they were passionate about before. And then there is another lesson that you said is like be aware of your surrounding, be aware of what people are asking you for, because there might be a business there and more opportunities there compared to what you set out to do. But the great thing is that you will never get there if you didn't set out to do the first thing in place. So there is
Yeah.
always a space. There is always a space for the first action. Now, you
Yeah.
mentioned about having that fuel, right? Doing something that you love and having that fuel. How is this linked to grit? And how did that help you go through 2023?
Well, I started 2023 full of excitement. The business was growing. I was getting out there more, more people were knowing who I was and everything. And I was sort of going along fine, but I was really busy and quite tired, just because, well, as many solopreneurs and all of that, don't you? You're sort of burning the candle at both ends. But it was happening, it was moving forward. And then out of the blue, and it was a real shock to find that my mum was, well, we thought we'd lost her, basically. She was dramatically ill. No, my mum is 97. She's not a young spring chicken or anything like that. So some people might say, well, that's life. She's 97, but mum is a real rock in our family, and the family is very big. We go on holiday every year, and it was just coming to holiday time, and suddenly she couldn't be there. And not only that, she seemed to have given up. She felt that this was the end, and she wasn't frightened or anything, but it just it pulled the rug from under my feet. I'm very close to mum. And also, of course, she lives 6 hours drive away from me. So I found that she needed support. She needed people with her. And I had to just lay down the business. I had to just say, I can't do all of this at the same time. Um, but I've got clients and I need to look after them too. So I went to be with mum and spent a month doing a lot of care for her, and with her, and just watching as she began to recover, but still very needy. And it was a real battle to know, what do I stop? Because I love mum so much that I knew that if I had to sacrifice the business, I would, just because she needed me. And, I couldn't just walk away, and I couldn't just say, well, I'm sorry, mum, I've got a call now. So I had to really think carefully about my dream, the vision, the fact that the business was growing. It means a great deal to me. My clients mean a huge amount to me. I would never want to let them down. But at the same time, here was this lady that I love so much that needed me. And I just, yeah, I needed to be there for her. So I actually decided to consider what was most important about the business that I needed to keep going with, that would take it through that stage where I couldn't give it all the time I wanted to. And so it really made me consider the importance, look at every different part of it, and ask myself, well, who can I ask for help? Who could step in and do some of the office hours for me, for example? Who could help me create different systems I was doing, maybe help me with social media posts and stuff like that. And because of the community and who it and the kind of community it is, there were people I could lean on and ask for help. And it gave me almost like a step aside to consider the future movement of the business. And that was a huge learning for me, actually, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I would have just carried on going on and filling my time with everything. But it actually meant that I gave myself a space to say what's really important, what's very important, what's quite important, and so on. And I don't think we do that enough. So that was a big learning for me physically. Because I think I would have worn myself out actually. So, funnily enough, it kind of gave me a rest. And so I began to see the benefit of taking that step aside. And the joy of it was watching mum improve her health and get stronger at the same time. So it felt like I was caring for both, but in the right way, and in a way where you have to set your priorities. There was more challenges to come because although I come from a big family, not I work from home and the others don't. So trying to work out, well, who's going to help and look after mum because she needs somebody with her now. Who's going to do that? And you get different people telling you, oh, we'll put her in a care home and all of this. There's no way are we going to do that at all. So I've been literally living away from home again, and I'd only just begun to live back at home again because of other challenges that we'd gone through where I was basically living away half the time with helping other people in the family. So we'd only just got used to being together as partner with my husband. And then all of a sudden, it's like, bye.
Now,
um,
it
yeah.
is there are a few things that I want to pick on here. One is sometimes we are forced to change our strategy, to change the way we run our business by external
Mm,
circumstances. And then after we realize that because of these circumstances, we have to think more strategically. We cannot do
mm,
what we were doing before. Um, and this is, and I agree with you, we don't do this enough. We don't
mm,
question how I'm running my operations. Are my programs the right programs? How can I have more free time? How can I create more still great income and support my clients at a high level, but without running myself to the ground? In particular, right now that I have other personal priorities that are equally as important, if not
mm.
more important than that. Have you a question for you? Have you read the book Who Not How?
I haven't. No, who's that by?
I don't remember the author, but if you type Who Not How, it will come up.
Mm,
Really great book. And it came to me because the principle of the book, without spoiling everything else, but the principle of the book is who, not how. So it's not asking yourself, how do I do this, but who can do this for me? Who can do this part? And only then focus on what's your zone of genius. What are you great at? What fills you up? And then the game, the end goal, is to have the who's doing everything else that you don't want to do in your business. It's a
okay.
longer process, but then is who, not how. And that's where actually the work that we're doing with GTeX, with strategic partnership, comes into place. Is like who, not how. Now
Mm,
thinking about even GTeX digital media, the partnership that I have with Nicola is who, not how. I wanted to create a digital marketing agency, didn't want to do the implementation work.
mm,
Who, not how. Finding something that works. And so you can apply to partnership, you can apply to hiring team members, you can apply to suppliers, you can apply to all different things. So I think you will enjoy, as you are in this space, actually, you will really enjoy that book. I found it transformational, really well written. One of my favorite books, business books.
right.
My next question for you is during this process, taking care of the business, transforming the business, taking care of your family, taking care of your mom, trying to take care of yourself. There's just so many moving parts. What have you learned about yourself?
I've learned about myself that I have a very determined streak that I won't give up. That I will. I'm like a dog with a bone, and but the downside of that is that I will attack something and go 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 almost till the end where I drop. And I've always done that, but it's begun to become more apparent to me that there are actually reasons why you shouldn't do that because actually at the beginning of 2023 I had burnt out just for about a month. I was really physically very weak. And it was just because I'd thrown myself so much into doing the business, staying up late hours, getting up early mornings. It wasn't really sensible. And so that I've learned that it doesn't mean to say, by the way, that I'm always uh, wise. I still will carry on going as far as I can. I'm trying to get an office sorted at the moment, and that's taking a lot of time in between. But it does mean that I'm more aware of the fact. And the reason I want an office outside of home is because I want to go home and have home at home, if that makes sense. Because that's just a healthy thing to do. When we work from home, so often the business takes over every living, breathing thing because all we can see is the business. So I've learned that that's not wise, and I need to have time for me. I need to have time to grow and develop my own personal um, well-being, as well as care for all the clients, and that's a big thing for me to learn. Actually, it's a big step.
It is a journey. It is definitely a journey. Um, Everyone is a different one, of course. I had to learn that myself. I was addicted to burnout at some point, and I agree with you. Then there is another dynamic. So before, when I had it, was in the event space, when we were running like 200 events a year. I was burning out every few months regularly, and I thought that was normal.
Mm.
And then after COVID, when we started working from home, had the same thing where it's like now I'm working 24/7, and that became a pattern. So I work on that for a few years to just change everything, and now like even having a different space where you're working, big change. This is a great lesson for everyone. Work in a different space, or if you have a separate room in the house. Some people are better than others. I found that when I've got a guest room, when I close the door, it's closed. So I'm able to make the shift. I know some people can't. Like everyone will find their own adjustment, but it's a journey. It is a journey, and you got the lesson. You know what you're implementing, and that's going to be the next step for you this year. For other people that are going through a really tough time, other people that are going through a really tough time, and maybe they are caring for people that they love. Maybe they have personal health challenges. Maybe they have other situations that are taking their attention, time, energy away from the business, but there's equally, if not more important. What advice would you have for them?
Well, I think the biggest advice, the best advice I can give is you're not on your own. Yes, you might be a solopreneur, but there's no reason why a solopreneur should be a lonelypreneur, which is what I had felt like, in that original
That's
business.
that's a good line.
And yeah, I mean, it just because I realized I was lonely when I started, and I look out and I see a lot of lonelypreneurs. So if you are in that situation, and if you're struggling to keep everything going, ask yourself about a community that you should be part of. I mean, GTeX is such a community. So you've got people there that you can reach out to. The community succeed from the start. That's one of the important things for me. There is that we don't we're not rising kind of on top of each other. We're supporting and helping each other to grow. So there are things in your business that you have to do. It's your business. You can't give certain things away, but have a look and see, well, what can I ask for help with? Exactly what you were saying before. And it might be somebody that is working in a similar way that you are, that they can just take on board some of the general day-to-day stuff. But even if they can't do that, what they can do is listen to you, care for you, support you, encourage you, make sure that you're looking after yourself. And I would always say, don't be that lonelypreneur. Honestly, don't. Join somewhere that you can get that kind of support, so that you've got somebody watching your back. It's really important, because the number of small businesses that close is generally because they just don't have the support around them, and there's no need to stay there.
I love what you said about you don't have to be. You can be a solopreneur, but you don't have to be a lonelypreneur. And if someone really stops and internalizes that, because right now, even when you're running an online business, it's even lonelier than it was before.
Mm.
The level and the quality of connection online, they are not as fulfilling most of the time as the one that you can get offline. And so it requires even more conscious attention to say, how can I fill my cup? How can I actually not be lonely? And of course, there are some people, they are more extrovert, other people are more introvert, depending on who they are. But ultimately, we all need this human contact. We all need these human connections. These connections, that's called contacts, more connections. So how can you give yourself your connections? And I know your community is incredible as well. GTeX community is incredible, and that's why we are so aligned in the work that we do, because fundamentally we believe the same things. We are part of. We are giving these communities. We are giving this support so that people can do their best work. So a couple of question before we wrap up. One about GTeX and one then about your community. What do you love the most about GTeX, and what GTeX gave you the most over this period of time that you've been working with us?
Well, I think first of all, the belief that you have in your clients and I think the way that you don't just well, you listen and you hear where they're going, what are they looking for, what is it that they want to do, and then help them to shape it, help them to actually dig deep and find out how they can do it. And I think the energy that you bring personally to the community as well. So there's an enthusiasm. I don't think anybody could come into the room and feel that they weren't important and that their business wasn't important, that they that they were silly, that a question, for example, they could ask any question they wanted and they'd get an answer to it. So I think that's really important. And then the other thing is that there's like a lot of clarity in GTeX, so you know what you're getting. There's a structure to it, and you can take the time that you need to go through all the different things that you provide. And there's accountability too, so that people kind of helping you keep yourself accountable. It's not about somebody watching over your shoulder saying you must do this and you've got to do that and telling you off. It's more about what are you doing? How are you watching? How are you taking care of the business and the process, and how you're growing the business? Yeah, so it's really valuable community. I'd highly recommend it.
Really appreciate your words. Thank you very much. And now let's talk about succeed from the start. First of all, what are you offering as part of your community right now? What are some of the things that you offer? And then what's the vision for the future? What are you developing? What are you focusing on building?
So the main vision is to touch the world with love, basically, and that's just come from when I was a little girl. That's always been the belief of my heart, that I was there to touch the world with love. And so the people that make up the community are always, they've got a passion to serve, a passion to care, a passion to touch people's lives. And it's making that practically possible so that it becomes not just a pipe dream or an idea in the back of their heads, it becomes reality. What we offer is their own digital marketing platform, which is Go High Level. So they get their own, they can build all their email marketing, their social media, all of that, landing pages and all of that. The support to do it, the walking them through doing it so that they can do it themselves. We also help them to build their first course and their first program, and give them some software to help them do that. And most importantly, it's the opportunity to come. There's 4 times a week where they can come along with anything, any question, whether it's technical, personal, whatever it is, and support each other and promote each other. There's a lot of alignment between the two communities. There's just a few differences, and a few we love speaking as well, like you do. So there's definitely an alignment there. There's just a kind of a few differences, and they work really well together. So some of our members are members of both, like I am.
Exactly. So for everyone, then make sure you check it out, succeedfromthestart.com. You can find it. The link is in the show notes. Is if you're watching this on social media, is in the description. Make sure you check out, follow Angela on social media, see her work. She's incredible at what she does. And she's built a fantastic community with really great support. So check it out, succeedfromthestart.com. Angela, it has been an absolute pleasure having this interview together. And I cannot wait to see what you're building this year, seeing the evolution and the growth of your community as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Simone, for inviting me. Appreciate
All
talking.
right. Everyone, thank you for watching or listening. I cannot wait to see you next episode of the Expert to Authority show. Make sure you subscribe and also leave a review. It's good for the guest, it's good for the podcast, it's good for my ego, it's good for everyone. So leave a review right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. And remember that together we grow exponentially. Ciao.
Bye.